Practice drill number 6. The formation of the Rocky Mountains. 1. The Rocky Mountains of North America extend 5,000 kilometers from New Mexico all the way up through Canada. Elevations along the range are about 1,500 meters along the lower plains to 4,399 meters at the highest peak, and widths range from 120 to 650 kilometers. The natural beauty, abundant wildlife, and fresh water of the ranges have attracted human inhabitants for the last 10,000 to 12,000 years. 2. The history of the Rocky Mountains begins in the Precambrian era, a half-billion years ago. While this is long before the Rocky Mountains themselves began forming, their hardcore rocks, consisting of granites, schists, gneisses, quartzites, and slates, were produced in ancient ranges. Erosion eventually leveled these mountain ranges, and during the Paleozoic and Mesozoic eras. About 75 to 540 million years ago, the ocean invaded the land and deposited sediments some 20,000 feet deep. They included layers of sandstones, shales, and limestones. 3. At the close of the Mesozoic era, during the Cretaceous period about 75 million years ago, the growth of the Rockies began. There was a tremendous squeezing that uplifted the region in a great series of folds, like wrinkles in a carpet. After the arching, erosion carved away at the mountains. Some 10,000 feet of sedimentary rock were washed off the top of the arch, exposing the hard rock core. The erosional resistance of these hard, crystalline rocks led to the formation of the high peaks that still exist today. On the flanks of the core, the sedimentary beds sloped outward. Great quantities of sand and clay were spread out on the bordering plains and plateaus. This was only one of the cycles of upheaval and erosion that occurred in the region. For near the end of the Eocene period, about 40 million years ago, the Rockies again rose several thousand feet. Volcanoes erupted, most extensively in the Yellowstone Plateau and the Absaroka Range. As the mountains were formed, streams eroded their sides, and thousands of feet of sediment spread out on plains and plateaus. Just before the Pleistocene period, about 1 million years ago, the region again uplifted. Streams flowed faster and began to cut canyons, and rivers ate deep gorges through the ranges. The most recent geological event of note was the Ice Age during the Pleistocene epoch, 1 million to 10,000 years ago. The high peaks of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains supported numerous small glaciers and snows accumulated on the sides of the mountains. These glaciers carved a typical collection of alpine landforms, such as cirques, horns, arates, and cols. Lower down in the glaciated valleys, various kinds of till and stratified sediments accumulated to form moraines. Most of the glacial deposits and landforms present today date from the last glacial phase, known in the Rocky Mountains as the Pinedale Glaciation or Pinedale Stage. During this stage, over 90% of the Yellowstone National Park was covered in ice. The glaciated terrains formed in this era are among the most picturesque in the high alpine Rockies today, as glaciers formed and moved down the valleys, thereby further eroding the mountains into bold. And 5. There was even a Little Ice Age, from about 1550 to 1860, a few centuries of glacial advance, made its mark on the mountains recently. For example, the Agassiz and Jackson glaciers in Glacier National Park reached their most forward positions by around 1860. The incessant sculpturing of the Rockies by rain, wind, and ice continues even today.